my lovelies, let's start. We're going to call this one the Hexagon, the Tonic Hexagon Ferris wheel. Right, that's what we're going to call this one. And you know what? I've had a long, hard think. I tell you what, YouTube has really been playing up. It's really been playing up. I'm struggling uploading videos. I don't know whether it's my connection or what. But on reflection, actually, it's probably better that we start with this anyway, okay? We'll start with the easier one. Right, okay. So in order to make the Ferris wheel, and the way I did the Octagon one, the first way, I used my craft knife and cut like we did before. But I'm going to try this one using template instead. There's only two ways really you can do this. You could reinforce it. Again, the same as with the tombola. Actually, there's three ways. It is exactly the same process as with the tombola. You can reinforce, right, if you want to. So you can find your central and reinforce it that way, or cut out with a knife. But I'm going to try and do it where there's no cutting. But in order to do no cutting, like I say, you have to make a template. Now, once you've made your templates, that's it. You have them. And if you do decide that you want to make another one, wait till you see the mammoth cutting involved. If you do decide that you want to make another one, then you've got your templates and then you never have to do them again, right? Okay, so let's go ahead. So your first template, all you're needing for this is the largest central from the rotating memoir set. Tonic rotating memoirs, the ones we use for the tombola, that is the one, the biggest one. That's all you're going to need for this exercise. So let's show you very, very quickly how this is done. And it's such an easy process. I'm going to give you the measurements. All you need to do is draw a line down the middle of your, we're calling this a hexagon. I've now really got to, I'm just lining that up as well on here. You can, I hope I don't keep calling this. If I do end up calling it an octagon, I do apologise, it's a hexagon. Right, so we're going to draw a line down our centre, okay? Centre, drawing a line down. Now we just have to find the centre of this. Now, across the centre is, what did we say it was? Yeah, it's 9.2. So your middle centre line on here is 4.6 centimetres. Okay, so again, you can see what I'm doing on the opposite side, 4.6 centimetres. You're going to take your ruler, and it's important to really get those lines central. Okay, that's one thing you do need to do. Take your time, don't rush, find your centre point. Okay, so that's our centre. Now, all you're going to need to do, now where did I put this? I'll do it, I can do it. All you're going to need to do, okay, is from your centre point, you need 1 centimetre out here and 1 centimetre from the point, each point, centimetre from the middle, centimetre from the middle, turn it around, okay, centimetre from the middle, right, centimetre there and centimetre from the middle. And that, where are we, my lovelies? That is what you get. That is now your template to put your die onto. So that's your marker, because that is your middle octagon on this is 2 centimetres. So that is your marker, right? So you pop your die on and you cut it out, and that is your centre point. Okay, that's your central point. All done on that one. How easy was that? Really wasn't difficult. That's your first template. Now let's move on to quickly our second template. Going to do exactly the same thing. You're going to take a ruler, okay, and you're going to score a line, or draw a line. I can't say score. Draw a line down the centre. Right. Now this is a bit of an odd measurement, okay? It's a bit of an odd measurement, but providing you have this stencil, you're never going to go wrong, okay? Providing you have this stencil, you're never going to go wrong, right? Remember that. So we are going to mark a point at the top here at 5.7, right? But you want to go in the middle, right? So it's actually 5.7 and a bit. So it's in the middle of those two because we've got an odd measurement, okay? So a little bit after the 5.7, right? You go in the middle of those, in between the 3 and the 4. In between the 3 and the 4 millimetre of that. Do you understand? That is your centre point, and that's the reason we've got that off is because the lines on this hexagon are just not even. Okay, then they're not even, they're odd lines, but we've still got a centre point, right? So there's your centre point. And again, how simple is this? You just go into your centre, mark a centimetre from the middle. I'll do it again, centimetre from the middle. It's so easy. Centimetre from the middle, centimetre from the middle. You can bring that line up a little bit. I want to show you. So keep that as your centre, but bring it down a bit. Just have a little of a wiggle down. I'll show you what I mean, because that will give you your marker. Okay, that's going to give you your marker of where to put your little. It's a washer, really, isn't it? It's actually like a washer for a nut. So you'll come in, I'll show you again, and you've got your marker. Boom. Let's just bring that up to show you. Can you see that? You see where you've got your little lines? That's your marker. So that is giving you a centre point, right? So all you do is you run that through your machine. Make sure you stick it down well so that it stays in that centre. And then that's our templates done. Right, that's all you have to do. Really wasn't difficult. Those are going to give us our centre points. Pop those to one side. Right, next. You are going to need to cut out two. Oh, I should have got this ready. Oh, prep. Here we go. That was lucky. You're going to need, you don't have to cut out the intricate parts in the middle. It does make the project a lot longer cutting out the bits in the middle. It really does. So you don't have to do that. You can just cut out these pieces, but you need, out of the tailored frames, good old Tonic tailored frames now. Told you they were going to come in useful. Two of those, okay? Cut out two of those and then go one down, right? And cut out two of those, okay? Like I say, I'll say it again, you do not need to cut out these filigree pieces in the middle. You don't. It is a bit fiddly. You have to make sure you're getting them all the right way round because we have to level them up to each other. So I will come back to that. If you struggle, I will come back to that, but you don't have to do it. It is important, and I will stress that these are the same cardstock weight. If you're changing colours, if you want different colours, if you're using 200 GSM, that has to be a 200 GSM. Again, I'm going to say this is a project for your intermediates to advance, okay? Because then you need to understand about the weight of this. Because again, I'll stress, this is not a product Tonic have brought out. This is something we're going to make with lots of their products. So important that whatever you use, if it's 300, this is 300, okay? So you need two of these. I don't know if did I say two or did I say four? Two of the larger ones and four, sorry, of the smaller ones, right? That is what you're going to need to make our cage. Okay, we're going to call it the cage. So pop those to one side. You don't need to see me cutting out those, right? Now, you are going to need, let me just think, because we're changing, aren't we now? So we're not going to need as much. 1, 2, 3. Right, you're going to need to cut out 4 of these, okay? We're needing 4 of these for the cage, okay? So, what you're going to do with 3 of them, keep one out. That's your central spindle for your cage. That's your middle central spindle for your cage, okay? I'm moving along swiftly because I'm conscious of time on this one. Do not worry, I will come back if you need me. If you want me to explain more, I will gladly do that. But I really want to get this one out because I really want to finish that octagon one as well. I want to get that out to you. So you're going to score down. So we've taken our, where are we? We've taken our spindle. So I'll speak more quietly because I know it's so loud when you go up to the camera, isn't it? So we've taken our spindle and we have cut, you leave your tab, and we've cut from the tab 1, 2, 3, right? That's one. Now you're going to take off of this one, you're going to take off one piece, right? Not sure if some of you have seen this when I did it with the other one, but it does work slightly different. That is scrap, okay? So with your leftover, 1, 2, 3, 4, you get 4, you're going to cut this piece off, right? And you're going to, where are we, cut this piece off, therefore giving you exactly the same piece, okay? So where are we? Right, exactly the same piece, okay? You're going to get 2 out of those, so you need, yes, 3 for those, right? So once you've done that, and oh, silly me, haven't prepped. Deary, deary me. Right, okay, so this is what you get left with. Well done. I'm going to try and fly through this. I really am. So that's what you get left with. Your little leftover pieces, right? Your little tiny leftovers that you've got. Apologies for this. I should have done this. I should have done this is one I did earlier. We'll talk. We'll talk. So that's what you get left with. So we're going to pop our tape. Now these are going to be these are going to hold the carts. So they're making up the outsides of your cage, right? So again, I should have done this before. So now you've got to sit and see me make up these. In fact, you don't have to, do you? What I could do is I could come off. Maybe that's what I'll do, because like I say, I really want to get this tutorial out to you for the end of this weekend, right? I really do. Especially as you've been waiting so long for it, and we're having to wait a little bit longer for the what do you call it? The octagon. You know, you're waiting for that one, aren't you? You know, we're having to come back to that one. Right, so all we're going to do is we're bending these exactly the same way we would make the spindle, right? It's no different. You're not putting glue on those ends. You're just putting it on the tabs, right? Use your lovely red tape for this project all the way through. It's going to be glue and tape, and you know, not promoting, but I would recommend this glue, okay? The Nouveau one, not the other one. I would recommend that. Right, so you are going to you're going to do that on all pieces, and all your 6 pieces, and you're going to have a little triangle. Can you see that? Little triangle. Let's show you. That's what you get, right? And you're going to have 6 of those, right? I'm going to come off camera and do those and come back. So 6 of those. So once you've done up your 6 of those, I'll go off and come back so they're set up. And you're going to need 1 spindle, and you've not done anything to this. This is your main spindle that's going to go through the cage, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop off, and I'm going to just put those together and save some time, okay? I'm so conscious that unfortunately YouTube has really been playing up for me. I'm not sure if it's a problem or if if it's something to do with my internet, but it's not been my friend. Gotta say, it's not been my best friend the last few days. It really has been playing up. So let me come back. Right, okay. So you're going to have, I'm going to come off there, you're going to have your six triangles. Let's call these little triangles. So you're going to have your 6 triangles and you're going to have your 1 spindle, okay? So what I'll do is I'll pop off and I'm now going to come back and show you how to construct the cage, okay? I shall see you in part 2. Lovely's back for part 2. Okay, I just had a thought as I was just making these bits up. You may actually get away with not having to do the smaller one. You might only have to do, I'm going to keep this tutorial up just in case, but you might only have to make one of these because you can see, I think actually only do the big one, okay? And I've shown you how to do the small and the big. May come in useful afterwards, I'm not sure, but just stick to doing the big one, the bigger one of the hexagons. Make sure you do this one because we can template that through the whole of it. Right, okay, so for second part, and we're concentrating now on the cage. Now, I've gone ahead, I've done one just so that you can see what I've done. I've gone ahead on this one and I've stuck them all onto each other, okay? So they're all layered onto each other. We've got 3 layers, 1 and 2 of those, so 3 layers on here. But I just wanted to show you that I've stuck that on. We can move this one to the side because we're not going to put the top of the cage on this one, okay, first. Right, so now is the time to bring in your template. Now what you're going to do is you're going to turn over, so you're on the back, okay, and I would recommend, right, I'm going to recommend this as well. I'm using this cheaper card because I've made so many of these. Believe me, they take a lot of cards. So use double-sided card. Use a really nice cardstock. I would say 250 is actually quite a nice one on this. You don't have to go crazy on this one for 300. Really don't, because it's a lot of work. I would say 250. It works fine. We're layering up quite a bit on this. But go for a double-sided, same colour on each side, because you're obviously going to see the back of the cage to an extent. Right. So you're now going to bring a template in, and this is your marker. This is the only way I could think to do it, the more simplest way out of all of them for you to do. And once you've got your template, you are away. Right, so what you're going to do, take your template, and there we go. Draw nice little circle in the middle. Boom. That is your marker, right? I've not done it this way before, but I think it's going to work. Right, okay, so I always come and do that, don't I? I haven't done it this way, but I think it will, having worked with them. Right, okay, moving on. The spindle, the handle. So we're going to do it in exactly the same way. I just wanted to put these on so I didn't forget to put them on. So let's put the first one on. We're going to, and I haven't, again, I'm going to stress, I haven't done it this way, but you know what I'm like, when I'm confident something's going to work, then I'm confident, okay? And I'm working in 2 different colours as well, so I do hope that helps a bit. So we're going to go in and do exactly the same as we would do, okay? Bringing these all level with your, I'm going to call this a washer because it's not really a nut, is it? It's a washer. Right, so let's make sure that's nice and level. Okay, nice and level. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our glue. I can't remember how I leveled it. Oh, I didn't level up in the last one, did I, for the tombola, because we just added and added and added. But with this one, it's a bit more tricky to do the adding on the sides because we're building up, we need to build up the layers on the front. I won't go into it all. If you've got any questions and you want to ask me anything, if you're stuck, if you need something else explained, then please just message me. I'm always available for that. Right, so that's our marker. So all we're going to do, you can see that, is take our spindle and we're going to level that up. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to bring that down, but you know what I'm doing, right? You can clearly see what I'm doing, and there we go. You're not going to see your draw line on there. You're not going to see that at all. So that's all covered. That ensures that is central. And you're going to do, obviously you know what we're going to do. We're going to do on the same on the other side. So that is going to ensure that that is totally central. And that is very important to this, to the Ferris wheel, because if you do not get that right, it's not going to work, right? It is not going to work. I'm going to stress, take your time at this point, right? Take your time. Right, now we move on to our 6 pieces. I'm going to put that washer with these, okay? I'll keep that washer on that because we don't need those at the moment. We're not putting the second part of the cage on. I hope it's not going to have a massive effect on it, but I don't think it will. Right, so we've got our 6, we're going to call them little triangles, okay? Our 6 triangle hangers. That's what they are, the hangers. Right, I did a little template on here to try and show you. We don't have markers, right? Okay, we don't have any markers, so we're having to put these on freehand. There isn't a marker. This wasn't made for this purpose, okay? It wasn't made, so we don't have a marker. So the only way I could really show you what I mean, you've got your 6 points on your hexagon, right? I'm going to come up close to the camera. And what you're going to do is you're going to pop your triangle, and I'm going to come right up close and I'm going to show you on the other side, and you're going to make a little, it's like an angle. I would say it's, what is that? Oh, 40 degrees angle. Let me show you. Let me show you what I mean, okay? Because again, this is not made for this purpose, right? So we're markering this out ourselves, but we can't really measure this, not really a measurement. Now, do you see, I'm showing you that that's your line, that's your point, right? So this is our triangle. We're getting that on there so that, can you see, it's butting up. Let me just turn that so I can see it. It's butting up to the edge, not going quite over, but you're lining the top of your triangle with that point. So the top of this triangle is lining up with that point. Now, I'm stressing to really go nice and slow with this. I'll show you as I'm doing it, but really go nice and slow, because this is going to ensure that everything is straight. I mean, it really becomes more important when you get to the top, and the top is going to be a bit tricky because I'm putting the cages on first. Right, so let's just pop this down, okay? I'm going to go through this. How long are we on? Oh, we're not doing too bad. It's amazing what you can do when you've done. How many of these have I done now? 1, 2, 3. I've cut out 4 for another octagon, and this one's 5. Believe me, when you see the work, you're going to be wow. It's a lot of work. Right, so we're going in, and you will, trust me, it will work. I know it's a bit of a strange way to make a measurement. I realise that. But without telling you, I mean, we were talking, it's very difficult to give you a measurement. So that's why I've given you that little shape. That's the shape you're butting up against. You know, I'm going to stress it one more time, because I know some people might be thinking, oh, this is a bit strange. Why haven't you got measurements? Why haven't you got something to butt up to? This is not made for this purpose. I keep saying it, but I want to make sure everybody's aware, in case you're watching and, you know, you're watching, you're thinking, what's this? So I want to make it clear all the way through that this is something I've dreamed up. I'm wondering if anybody else has done this. I wonder if somebody has. I'm not sure. I really would love, I'd love to see somebody else have a go, because they might come up with a different way of doing these. But yes, that's what we're doing. So, and also cardstock, just thinking on cardstock here, I would go for it. The problem is, I said it before, with Ferris wheels, they are a lot of work, regardless of if you have dies or not. They're a lot of work. So, and they use a lot of cardstock. They really do. This one does, because we haven't got, for the you know, for the stand of it, excuse me, for the stand of it, we have to cut that part out 8 times, which that's really where the bulk of your cutting is going, the eight pieces on that, plus your reinforcements. But there is no other way of doing the stand. There is absolutely, categorically no other way of doing it. So you never know. I've said it before, maybe Tonic will bring out another rotating something. I don't know. They may bring out something that will have a component, and it might break down those side bits so that we can make bigger stands, you know, and it's not going to waste, you know, it's not going to waste as much paper. But you do have to reinforce these Ferris wheels anyway, whatever, you know, there's got to be some reinforcements. Right, so you can see what we're doing. In fact, I'm looking at this now. This is the first one I've made of the hexagon, because I've been doing octagons. I hope this one should be a breeze. Right, so this is what we get left with, right? This is what we get left with. Now, I'm going to just pop this on here, just so I don't forget to put the washer on, because I know what I'm like. I'll get to that point and be rushing ahead. I'm not going to put it, I'm just putting it around the base, so I remember. Right, this is what we get now. So this is the base of our cage. We are not going to put these on first. We're going to come back and put these on after our carriages are on. And I'm looking at it now, and actually it's not that bad to work with. It's not as bad as the hexagon. I'm just thinking, are we going to be able to just level these up nicely? And I think we will. Yeah, I think we will. Just hoping that we're not going to struggle. Right, so I'm going to come back in part 3, and I'm going to show you how we do the cages. Okay, so part 3 is going to be putting the cages together. See you in the next part.